Help me to reach 2,000 subscribers. The laughter froze mid-air. I remember the exact pitch of it, like glass cracking. We were at the rehearsal dinner, and she stood there, eyes glittering beneath the soft lights, holding a champagne flute. "I have a surprise," she said, her voice trembling with that mischievous excitement I used to love. "Everyone, please welcome my man of honor, Daniel." My ex. Daniel stepped into the room with a confident half-smile, like this was some joke we were all in on. The air thickened instantly. My stomach lurched. I felt my jaw tighten so hard it hurt. The sound of applause was scattered, awkward. My mother frowned. My best friend looked at me, waiting for a cue, some kind of sign that this was part of the plan. It wasn't. I stared at Lily, my fiancée, trying to make sense of what she had just said. My ex. At our wedding. As her man of honor. What the hell is this? I asked, my voice low but trembling with the effort of keeping it steady. Lily laughed. The kind of nervous laugh that pretends everything is fine. "It's symbolic," she said. "You both used to be close, and I think it's beautiful that we can move past the past." But Daniel's eyes told a different story. He looked at me, not with friendliness, but with a kind of quiet triumph. Like he had already won something I didn't know I was competing for. That night, I barely slept. My thoughts spun in circles. Why him? Why now? I tried to ask Lily again, but she brushed it off. "It's just a name," she said, her tone clipped. "Don't make it bigger than it is." But it was bigger. Much bigger. In the weeks leading up to the wedding, she became more distant. Her phone was always face down. Late-night texts. Sudden showers after mysterious errands. I wanted to believe it was stress. I wanted to trust her. She was the woman I was supposed to spend my life with. Still, Daniel kept showing up. At the venue. At dress fittings. At cake tastings. And every time, I noticed how close they stood. The subtle touches. The inside jokes. I caught them once in the corner of the reception hall, laughing quietly. Her hand brushed his arm as she leaned in to whisper something. When she noticed me watching, her smile faltered, but only for a second. Then she said, "Don't be paranoid." I wanted to scream. Instead, I nodded. Because part of me was terrified that if I pushed too hard, I'd lose her. The night before the wedding, we were supposed to rehearse our vows. But Lily didn't show up. Her maid of honor, her original maid of honor, before she replaced her with Daniel, said Lily had a lot on her mind. I called her. No answer. I texted. Nothing. Hours later, at 1:37 a.m., a message came through. "We need to talk in the morning before the ceremony. Please don't be angry. I love you." I didn't sleep after that. My mind conjured every worst-case scenario possible. Morning arrived with grey skies. My reflection in the mirror looked like a stranger. Tired, hollow-eyed, terrified. I put on my suit anyway. When I arrived at the venue, the coordinator whispered that Lily wanted to meet me privately. I followed her to a small side room near the bridal suite. Lily stood by the window, clutching her bouquet, eyes red from crying. "Tell me what's going on," I said quietly. She turned, her lips trembling. "You deserve the truth," she said. "But please, don't hate me for it." The words came out like a knife twisting through fabric. Daniel and I, reconnected. It just happened. I didn't plan it. I felt the air leave my lungs. My pulse roared in my ears. "How long?" "Since last month," she whispered. "I thought it was just closure. I thought I could control it." My hands shook. "You're sleeping with him." Tears spilled down her face. She didn't answer. That silence was my answer. I backed away, the walls spinning around me. "So the man of honor thing, was that your way of mocking me?" "No," she cried. "It was guilt. I wanted to prove it didn't mean anything. That we could all be friends." Friends. The word felt poisonous. I stared at her, trying to find the woman I fell in love with, the woman who used to hold my hand through storms. All I saw was a stranger wearing her face. "I can't marry you," I said, barely recognizing my own voice. She collapsed into a chair, sobbing. Please. Don't do this. We can fix it. But there was nothing to fix. There was only the slow, unbearable realization that she had already chosen someone else, and then dressed that betrayal up as honesty. I walked out. Past the flowers, past the waiting guests, past Daniel, who looked up with a flash of something that might have been guilt or satisfaction. Leaving already? He said quietly. Take good care of her, I replied. You two deserve each other. The sunlight hit my face as I stepped outside, and for the first time in months, I felt something close to clarity. I drove away, ignoring the calls, the texts, the chaos unraveling behind me. But later that evening, curiosity, cruel and irresistible, made me open my messages. There was one from Lily. A video. I tapped play. It was a recording from the night before. The rehearsal hall was empty except for her and Daniel. She was sitting on a table, laughing softly, saying, "What if he finds out?" Daniel replied, "Then I'll tell him it's just friendship." He always wanted to believe the best in people. Then they kissed. The camera must have been propped up somewhere. Maybe she meant to delete it. Maybe she wanted me to see it. Either way, I did. 3 weeks later, I returned to the venue alone. The flowers had wilted. The arch still stood, half dismantled. I stood beneath it, feeling the ghost of what could have been. I wasn't angry anymore. Not exactly. I was emptied out, hollowed but awake. I realized something as I stood there. Betrayal isn't just about cheating. It's about the small, deliberate choices people make when they think you'll forgive them anyway. Lily reached out to me one last time, asking for closure. I never replied. Some truths don't need words. Some wounds don't need closure, they just need distance. And so I left her name behind, like a chapter torn from a book I no longer wanted to read. The story had ended, painfully but cleanly. I finally knew what it meant to be free.